Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me for this Friday edition of Life Lifters. We're talking about how to work well. 5 traits that will increase your value at the place of employment where you are engaged. And we use the rubric of the 5 C's, and so far in this series, we've talked about the first 4 C's that will help you be the best employee you can be. You'll be the last one laid off. You'll be the first one promoted. You'll be the first one to get a raise if you're at a fair, equitable place of employment. We said character. The first thing is character. The second is competence. You're good at what you do. The third is chemistry. You relate well to all different kinds of personalities at work, and there are lots of different kinds. And then the fourth is a can-do attitude. You don't see a problem, you see a solution. You don't get halted by challenges. You get excited and invigorated by trying to solve them. Even if you don't, you at least advance the ball. And then today, we're going to talk about the last C that is an important trait for an employee, and that's this: confidence at work. Now, confidence at work is going to sound like you need to be confident. Go in there and I'm confident. You know, there was a book in the 80s, I think it was, when I was graduating, and dress for success if you wear these clothes. You know, and I don't think there's something to be said about clothes, but that's not where you find your confidence. What I mean by confidence is not self-confidence, is you find your confidence in the Lord. Ultimately, you do your work for the Lord knowing that He is the judge. Now, everything I've said is that if you do this, your employer will do that. If you do this, your employer won't do that, and all these things. But here's what I want to say. At the end of the day, you work for the Lord if you're a Christian. You do. Now, don't tell this to your boss. I did this one time, and I was working at Harris Semiconductor, and I talked to my boss's boss, and we were talking about pay, and he said, "I'll take care of you at your next review." And I said, "Well, I work, you know, thank you, Ray, and I appreciate that. I work for the Lord, not for Harris." And he said, "Well, maybe the Lord can give you your next paycheck." And I got the point. You got to be careful what you say, but here's the thing. Ultimately, you work for the Lord. What does that mean? That means ultimately the company who pays you, the company who watches you work, is God's provision for you, but ultimately you see through the company to the Lord. The Lord pays you through that company. You work for that company, but ultimately for the Lord. What does that mean? You do your best possible work. After all, the word confidence literally means with faith. Con fide, con with, fide faith. When you have confidence, you're operating with faith. Faith in what? In God. Confidence in God. So you work for Him, and you have confidence. He'll promote you at the right time. He'll keep you at that company or move you, but you do your best at work that way. Where do I get that from? Colossians 3:23-24. On Monday, we looked at Colossians 3:22, and we end with Colossians 3:23-24, the 2 verses that follow. Look at what it says. It says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart." What a great summary of what we've learned this week. "As working for the Lord and not for men." He's not saying you ignore that you're working for men, but that you're ultimately doing your work to please God, not your employer. "Since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving." Boy, think about how that'll change your world. You get up every morning. I'm going to work for you today, Lord. Yes, the means is going to be my company, but I'm going to work for you. Yes, I'm going to stay at home and take care of my kids, but you know what? I'm ultimately working for you, not even my kids. Think about that, working for Jesus Christ. He's your boss. What a great transformative attitude at work. Therefore, you don't have to worry about forcing the boss's hand to get a promotion or get a big raise. Doesn't mean you don't ask. It doesn't mean you don't tell them if you feel that's the right thing to do. But at the end of the day, the Lord is responsible for all of that. Confidence. Do you have confidence at work? Not self-confidence. Let him who boasts, Paul says, let him boast in the Lord. Do you have confidence in the Lord? And by that I mean so much confidence that you work for Him and let Him take care of every single situation at work for you. Let me pray. Father, I pray that we'll all have more confidence in work. Confidence not in ourselves, but in You. Confidence that we work for You. Even if a boss doesn't see it, nobody sees it, You see it. To work for an audience of one. And I pray this week of messages on how to work well will help people be the best employees they can be. And we ask this all in the strong name of our ultimate employer, Jesus Christ. Amen. Thanks, and I hope this week of messages on how to work well has helped you. And if it has, hey, forward them to somebody else and help them be blessed and learn more about working well. Have a great weekend.